Welcome all you fascial manipulation docs and therapists. My name is Tim Irving. I'm a chiropractor and a massage therapist and the creator of my Fascial Manipulation Assessment chart app. And this is just a brief introduction telling you a little bit about what it is, why I created it, and what it can do for you. So this app is actually a web application. You can use it from any computer, tablet, or smartphone as long as you have internet access. Now there's a couple caveats there. When I designed this, I designed it to work best with Safari and Firefox as well as on an iPad. So it will work with any computer, tablet, or smartphone, but it works best with computers that are running Firefox or Safari browsers. It doesn't work very well with Google Chrome browser, and Internet Explorer, while it works just perfectly, changes the user interface a little bit, and it just looks a little weird. So that would be the only caveat. Now, with tablets and smartphones, I've actually optimized the web application for touchscreen technologies. Now, with the Fascial Manipulation Assessment chart, not everything loaned itself well to touchscreens, but where applicable, I will have touchscreens on this app, and I got a couple screenshots for you of the application. So this is the very first page. When you sign in, when you purchase access to the assessment chart, you'll sign in, you'll click on the chart, and this is what you'll see. And now this button here is clickable. I can either click on it, or if I was on my iPad or another tablet or possibly a hybrid laptop that had a touchscreen on it, I could touch it and it would bring me to the next page. And it goes through every aspect of the Fascial Manipulation Assessment chart, including things like site of pain, concomitant pain, previous pain. And I also have, as you'll see this bar right here, I have a preview function. So you would click on that bar and it would bring you to what essentially looks like the paper chart, the paper assessment chart for fascial manipulation. And in that chart you can click on different aspects of that chart, and it'll bring you to those sections that you can fill out. You can always return here if you really want that visual cue that's wonderful about the Fascial Manipulation Assessment chart. So while you're filling this out, there's no information that's saved anywhere, meaning none of your client or patient information is saved on my server or online at all. This is to maintain the highest level of client-patient confidentiality. That being said, you have to email yourself the filled out form before moving on to the next one, or closing the app, logging out, turning off your computer. If you don't email yourself a PDF version of the form that you just filled out, the information is going to be lost. I am working on updates that will potentially make this a little bit more seamless, so you don't necessarily have to email yourself. But right now, the best solution was to do it this way. Again, to keep your client-patient confidentiality kind of right on top. So when you email yourself the form, it's sent to you as a PDF. It goes right to your email. You can open the PDF and print it. You can load it into electronic health records, as I do in my clinic. In fact, in my clinic, I fill out the patient chart on my iPad, and then I upload it into the patient's electronic health record. And the PDF form will look just like the fascial manipulation paper chart. It might be one page, it might be 2 pages, depending on how much information you input into that chart or into the app. So again, future updates, I am in the process of figuring out different ways of doing this to make it a little bit more seamless. But whatever it's going to be, your client-patient confidentiality is going to be safe. So when you purchase the access to the app, you're purchasing access for the life of the app. That means as long as I plan on maintaining this app, you have access to it. And I plan on maintaining it for a long time because, again, I use it in practice. This includes future updates. So if I do even a major update, you get it for free. You don't have to purchase anything more. It's a one-time charge when you purchase this app. It's not a subscription. There's no follow-up charges. So why did I do this? Well, as a massage therapist, I fell in love with fascial work, and I've been doing a lot of it as a chiropractor. And the beauty of the Stecco fascial manipulation system is how organized and succinct it can be. I've been following the development of this technique since the texts were translated into English. I purchased a green book immediately when I found it online, and I read it cover to cover. The two things that really kind of turned me off to the information were the new language that I had to learn, and this tends to be a problem with a lot of people learning the technique, although I do see a use for it, and I really like it now. But also about the flow of the technique, how the technique worked, and the charting aspects of it. When I finally got the blue book, everything started making a little bit more sense, but at this point, I really knew it was time to take the classes. I didn't really want to nitpick as far as what I was reading and what I didn't like until I really got the hands-on stuff. So as soon as the fascial manipulation technique came to Eugene, Oregon, I took the classes, and I got certified. I took all the entire series of 4 classes. And what I noticed throughout the class was the chart still was a problem. The paper chart was lacking. For most of us. And then we even got a Word document version of the chart. And even though it was electronic and solved some of the issues, it was still really tedious to use. So here are some of the problems I see with the fascial manipulation chart, the paper chart specifically, but some of these do apply to even like a Word document chart. Too little space, that's a big one, especially with a paper chart. I have a couple pictures of some examples, and you'll see, even though the example I'm going to put up here in a little bit is one of my neater examples, it still seems a little disorganized. When I was first learning this technique, I was having trouble remembering everything to put into the different boxes, and the abbreviations, the shorthand, what order they were to be put in there, and this fascial manipulation assessment chart app will spell that out for you. The fascial manipulation chart for some of us, especially those of us that are doctors, are pretty they're lacking as far as all of our needs for medical legal charting requirements. And this fascial manipulation chart app does not necessarily circumvent a lot of those, so we'll still have to probably maintain a regular patient chart. And as far as paperless offices and electronic health records, the fascial manipulation paper chart and Word document were just really kind of lacking. It didn't fit in well with my paperless office, so I decided to create the app. In the beginning, especially, my charts are really sloppy. I had a lot of mistakes because I was trying to figure out both the charting, which in and of itself was a new learning experience, but also the technique. And when I created this app, even in its very primitive stages, it made life so much easier for me. Did I mention too little space? That's part of the big deal was too little space. So, one thing I noticed as I went through the classes was a lot of my classmates were having the same issues with the charts, with the language. There was a lot of new stuff to learn, and it seemed really overwhelming. And this fascial manipulation assessment chart app can actually take a little bit of that load off. It'll help you learn the assessment charting aspect of fascial manipulation efficiently and without too much headache. So again, the Word document made things way easier, or not way easier, but neater, but it still took a lot of time. In fact, it didn't work well at all on my iPad. I even tried to just take a PDF version of it and draw on it on my iPad, just right, but my handwriting was so atrocious that didn't even work very well. So the language, I just briefly, I don't want to trash the jargon utilized in the fascial manipulation technique. Initially, I hated it, just like a lot of my classmates, and maybe some of you did. But and I really resisted learning it, and it was tough. And this made my charting really tough in the beginning too. I've since learned to really like the jargon. It works really well. It's international, and this app will help you like it too. It'll actually make it easier, especially with the charting aspect of things. So as far as charts, you can do the freehand thing that a lot of us do, and this is one of my very, very early charts. I have no idea what's going on here. I can read it and figure it out, but it takes me more than a few minutes. And if I look at one of my charts and it takes me more than a couple minutes to figure out what's going on, what I did with the patient, and where I need to go, it doesn't work for me clinically. So I tried to fill out the paper charts, and even after I learned how to do it properly, and this is one of my neatest examples, it still looks kind of sloppy. I made a couple mistakes on this one. I put things in different order. If you see in the movement verification area in the diagonals, I forgot to put right first, and it just looks a little bit sloppy, and it doesn't give me the wonderful visual cues that I like to see, as far as figuring out what's the oldest, what area I need to treat first, why I chose to treat these things. It doesn't pop out at me visually because it's still pretty disorganized. So after the app, that same chart would look more like this. There's one page and then the second page, and it's a lot neater, it's a lot more organized, and that's the exact same information as was on the last slide. So there you have it. That's my introduction to my application, my Fascial Manipulation Assessment Chart app. I really believe that it's for learning the technique, learning the charting aspect of the technique, and then charting in a way that is usable in your office. This app right now is the best thing out there. In fact, it will produce chart notes that will be very easy to send to colleagues, to put on the Fascial Manipulation Yahoo group, to have colleagues look at and tell you, what they're seeing and where they would have worked, etc. So stay tuned. I am also going to produce very detailed instructions on how to use the app, and those will be accessible both from by people that purchase access to the app, and also those of you that have come to my site just to check things out. So stay tuned for that. Thanks a lot.